Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Today we are going to be participating in the Made of Magic Readathon. This was a readathon created by Summer at Seasons Readings and Zoe. It's Zoe Delaney on YouTube, but I think it's Zoe Fluger on Instagram. Sorry if I'm saying your last name wrong. These are two creators that I discovered pretty recently actually. And I actually discovered Zoe through this readathon because I follow Summer and she posted about it and I was like, oh, that sounds really cool. So this readathon is, like I said, called the Made of Magic Readathon. And there are a few prompts that they created and I'm going to do my best to follow them, I guess. So the reading prompts are to read a book with purple on the cover and to read a magical book. The book that I'm going to read with purple on the cover is A Botanist's Guide to Flowers and Fatality by Kate Kavari. This is the second book in the series. The first one is A Botanist's Guide to Parties and Poisons, and this one, I actually haven't even read about what this one is about. Let's see, so it's about this research assistant named Saffron, and she's going on her first research study, traveling along the countryside when victims, all women, receive bouquets with poisonous flowers, and then she's trying to solve the case. So I really liked the first one. I thought it was really cute, and it's just kind of like a quirky little story. It's kind of like a cozy mystery, I guess. So I liked the first one a lot, and I'm hoping that I like the second one. It's kind of historical fiction set in the 1920s. So that's the book I'm going to be reading for purple on the cover. And then the book that I'm going to read that is a magical book is A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed. This is about a girl named Effie who is entering an architectural contest where she has to design a new manor that is for the descendants of her favorite author who wrote this epic tale of the Fairy King, and she's been haunted by dreams of the Fairy King for her whole life. And so I think that it's a little bit magical and a little bit dark academia maybe, and it just seems like it'd be fun. It says it's kind of a gothic tale, and I really like gothic stories. So those are the two books I'm going to try and read. Hopefully I can fit them both in. This readathon is taking place October 6th through 8th. I'm going to try and have my video posted by then, but I am filming it ahead of time because that is the weekend of my daughter's first birthday, which is crazy that she's turning 1. I'm not mentally prepared to accept that. But I want to try and get a head start on it and film beforehand. So it's the week before I'm going to start getting things read. And then there's a vlogging prompt to vlog a cozy hobby. And so we'll try and fit that into. I don't know what my cozy hobby is going to be for this because I have so many, but I'll figure something out. And then there are some Instagram prompts as well that I'm going to try and do, and I think I'll tell you about those when we get to it, and you can help me. Well, I guess you can't really help me because you'll be watching this video and I will have posted the things by the time you watch it, but you can watch me try and figure out some good Instagram posts. I actually kind of struggle with that, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's what this readathon is. I'm excited to be participating. These creators are really awesome and lovely, and I think that this is such a fun idea. I'm really glad they came up with it. So I'm going to check in with you. I'm starting by reading A Study in Drowning because I actually have the other book on hold, and let's hope it comes off hold, because if it doesn't, that's going to be so embarrassing. But yeah, so I'm starting with Study in Drowning, and I'll check in with you at some point. We'll see. Sometimes I just sit down and read books all the way through and forget that I'm supposed to be telling you about them. So we'll see if I remember, and if I do, then I'll see you and tell you an update. And if not, then I'll tell you how I felt about it. Bye! Hi guys. Sorry I have been so bad at updating you. I don't think I even told you that I started reading A Botanist's Guide to Flowers and Fatality, and then I read the entire thing. So, whoops. Sorry. I also finished A Study in Drowning. This all happened like 4 days ago. So, sorry that I didn't even tell you, but here we are now. And so I'm going to tell you my thoughts. So let's start with A Study in Drowning by Ava Reid. I think I'm going to give this one a 3-star. Let me start with the things I liked first. First, I liked the inclusion of the like folklore, the fairy king. I liked that like some people in this book, in this society, believed in the fairy king and some didn't, how there's local superstitions that are different from other regions. I really like that kind of stuff. I've mentioned that before, but those are things that I've always been really interested in. That's why I really liked Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, because I enjoy folklore a lot, and so I really liked that aspect of it. I think the academic part was interesting. Overall, I don't think it was like a bore or a slug to get through, but there were some things that I didn't love. So I guess now getting into the things I didn't love. First of all, I thought the main character was kind of a jerk. She was really rude, especially to the other character. Her name's Effie, his name's Preston. She was constantly talking about how snobby he is and how elitist he is, but then I felt like we never saw him being snobby or elitist. It was just like her telling us that he's snobby and elitist. And they're from these 2 countries that are at war with each other, which we really don't get any information or any context or like any indication that they are actually at war. It's just like, oh, you're from that country and I don't like you, and you must be, you know, all these stereotypes, but don't you dare say those stereotypes about my country. So it was like kind of hypocritical. And so like that part of her personality I just didn't really enjoy reading, because I was like, you're just being rude for no reason, and like he didn't really give her a lot of reason to be rude to him, and so it was just kind of obnoxious, I guess. My biggest qualm with this book is that it's really hard to pinpoint the time period that you're in, because it's going off this like fake time of this world that we're in, but it's kind of magical realism, so sometimes it felt like you were in like ye old days fantasy, and then all of a sudden they were like using a phone or driving a car, and so it was like they have telephones but not cell phones, and they have records and they have cars. I don't know. So just like the use of kind of more modern technology, and then I guess the way that they spoke sometimes seemed like pretty modern, but then it just would feel like you were not in a modern setting at all. So that was kind of hard for me, because it was like hard for me to really like lock down the setting in my mind and picture like where we are and what we're doing, because there was just like this random use of technology that I didn't quite understand. So that, I mean, that might not bother you. So like, you know, if it didn't bother you, you would probably like this book more. But that was just something that I was like, what is happening? I will say overall, this story as a whole is about men using their power to take advantage of women. And I think that that is an important conversation to have, but it's not necessarily something that I enjoy reading about for fun. I want to be careful how I say this, because I think that it is really important to listen to victims and to not let people use their power as an advantage over other people. I think that that is something very important. However, I read for fun. I read because I think that it's enjoyable. And sometimes I read hard books that are, the content of them is hard to get through when I'm in the space for that. And so when I'm looking for something that's just like a fun fantasy, little bit of dark academia type of vibes, I wasn't expecting to be worried about having to read an assault scene and being on guard, because that's not something that I wanted to read. And so, and it's not graphic at all, this book, I will say. There are no graphic scenes in it, so if that is something that you're worried about. But I was on edge though, and so that's just something that I personally didn't enjoy, because that's not what I was looking for. And so if you're looking for those conversations in a kind of fantasy magical realism setting, I think you would really like this book. And I don't think this book is objectively bad by any means. 3 stars, not a horrible rating, but it just wasn't my favorite. So yeah, that's Study in Drowning. The next book that I read was what is it? A Botanist's Guide to Flowers and Fatality by Kate Kavari. This is the second book in the series, and it also kind of fell flat for me. I think I'm going to give it a 3.5. What was missing for me compared to the first book was a lot of the like academic and work in it. In the first book, she's like working, she's researching, she's an academic, she's learning. And in this one, I felt like it was a lot more shallow and surface level, and she wasn't really doing those things that you know that she's passionate about. I also will say the main character in the second book, her personality just wasn't working for me. Her name is Saffron, and she just seemed a lot more abrasive and just rude in the second book. I did not like the way the romance things played out. I don't like miscommunication, and there's another trope in here that I really don't like that I feel like would be spoiling it if I said it, so I won't. Just, that's kind of why I don't read romance. I don't mind if there's romance in books that are mostly about other things, but when it is in books and then they do stuff like that, I'm like, ugh, that's why I don't read romance. Because it's not something that I enjoy reading about. I'm like, okay. I will say too, the mystery in this one wasn't as well paced, I think, as the first one, and so I had to like push through the first 70% of the book because I was kind of bored, and then all of the action started happening right at the end. And then at the very, 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 very end of the book, like maybe last 15 pages, it threw in like a whole nother storyline to set up the next book, but it didn't flow to me at all. It was just like, here was this whole book about this one thing, and then at the end, oh, actually it's this whole other thing, and that's what the whole book is about in the next book. So it's just, to me, that I didn't feel like the pacing was quite right, and so it was clunky to read. And I don't think I'll read the next book, which is kind of a bummer. But I can definitely see that there is an audience for this series, and I think it's fun overall. But yeah, those were things that I just kind of couldn't get past that bugged me. And it's like, you know, if I'm not loving a series and I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll read the next one, I don't really know, then what's the point of reading it when there's so many other books on my TBR that I'm really excited about? So yeah, unfortunately both of these books were like not my favorite, which is kind of sad because this is my first readathon that I've like really participated in, and I think it's such a fun readathon, and I'm like, maybe I just didn't pick very good books for it because I didn't really like either of them that much, you know? Like it was fine, but yeah. So that's kind of the disappointing part of this video, is that I didn't really like the books that much. But hopefully my cozy hobby will be a lot of fun, and I'm so glad I read them, because now I know. So yeah, let me know if you've read these books, if you like them, if you didn't like them, because I'm curious what other people's thoughts are. I think that I'm kind of in the minority of not liking them, which is a good thing. That's good. It's good when books have success. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I'll talk to you guys later. Hello. It's later in the day. I do have some knitting to get done, so I'm going to do that, and I'll insert some footage in here in just a second. But I wanted to work on some of the Instagram prompts that I can. So, well, one of them. So the Instagram prompt for Friday, which is tomorrow as of now when I'm filming this, is to share your TBR. Now, I read both of these books on Libby, which, if you don't know, is a free library app where you just put in your library card and then you have access to their catalog of ebooks and audiobooks, which is so cool and awesome, by the way. I read 99.5% of the books that I read on Libby because I don't have that much extra money lying around. I wish I did, but I don't. So, you know, I can't afford to be going out and buying new books all the time. And so yeah, Libby is like my best friend. I really enjoy it. So because I read both of these books on Libby, I can't take like a physical photo of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a graphic on my iPad, and that's what I'm going to do to share my TBR. So I'll show you, I think, the process of doing that just because it's like a little fun thing, and I guess it can like kind of also count as my cozy hobby because I also really enjoy making like graphics and fun things on my iPad. I just thought I would tell you about that. The other Instagram prompts for Saturday, it's a Choose Your Destiny where I think they're going to post like some instructions and then you follow their instructions. And then Sunday is a pumpkin patch photo or pumpkin photo. And we are hopefully going to a pumpkin patch on Saturday with my daughter for her first birthday. So I'll get a pumpkin picture from that at some point. Yeah, I'm excited to go to a pumpkin patch though. I really enjoy doing those like fall activities, and my husband and I wanted to make it a priority this fall to like do fun fall activities together. So we're kicking it off with the pumpkin patch, and then hopefully we also do other fun fall activities, because this is like totally off topic, but maybe you want to know about it. There are a lot of like Halloween fall activities specifically in Oregon. Like Oregon is known for having really good Halloween festivities apparently, and the movie Halloween Town was filmed in St. Helens, Oregon, which is not super far away from where we live. So I think we're gonna head over there and we're gonna go to Halloween Town because they do like a whole thing for the whole month of October where you can like go visit their town and they make it look like Halloween Town, and they do a bunch of activities and they have people that come perform, and it's like a whole big thing. And so I think we're gonna go to that, which is gonna be really fun, even though I actually have never seen Halloween Town. So we have to do that first and then we'll go. But yeah, anyway, that was a tangent, and now I'm gonna do some TBR design and you can watch me do that. Okay, so my cozy hobby that I decided to do today is working on this blanket. Now, some of you might have been around here for a while, and perhaps you remember my knit and chat videos that were quite a while ago. And perhaps you remember in those videos I said the phrase, I have to finish this blanket because my niece is going to be born soon. My niece is 6 months old. And the blanket's not finished. I'm sorry, Margot, but perhaps it will be a present for her first birthday, because obviously I can't get it together enough to finish this blanket. But I thought it would be fun to work on it for a while today, and I think I'm just gonna kind of close out my vlog here. Thank you for being here. Sorry that my reading didn't turn out that good, but I'm really happy that I got to participate in the Made in Magic Readathon. Make sure you follow me over on Instagram at bloom_journals because I will be participating in Instagram prompts as well. So you probably don't want to miss them. I mean, I hope you don't. Shout out to Summer and Zoe for creating this very fun readathon. I'm glad that I got to participate in it. Their socials will be linked in the description box, and you should definitely check them out because they're very creative, lovely people. And I hope that I can participate in more readathons like this in the future, only hopefully my future ones turn out better in terms of my own success of reading. And we're going to leave it at that. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!